my attorneys, and he's going to speak as relates to what's going on.
Folks, there have been questions in the news, questions on social media about who we are and what we are doing, why we are here with Mayor Henyard. And I would like to take this opportunity to answer those questions so there can be no doubt. My name is Bo Brendan. Sitting next to me is my associate Edward McDavid. People have called me the mayor's criminal defense attorney. I saw that on the news. But that is incorrect. I do not represent Mayor Tiffany Henyard in a criminal capacity because Mayor Tiffany Henyard is not charged with any crimes. Mayor Tiffany Henyard has not committed any crimes. But I will tell you why it is that I have been engaged by the mayor. Mayor Henyard came to see me and asked to engage my office to represent her because Mayor Tiffany Henyard is under attack. Make no mistake about it, Mayor Henyard is under attack. She is under attack by a corrupt board of trustees that believes that they can subvert the will of the people and take over the mayor's office and the mayor's duties without ever winning that election. She is under attack by underhanded political machine attorneys who control this board. That's what's going on. This attack comes in the form of false statements. This attack comes in the form of frivolous lawsuits and unconstitutional recall efforts. This attack comes in the form of outright illegal conduct committed by this board of trustees, blatant violations of statutes, blatant violations of the village code. Mayor Henyard has hired me to stand up to these people and to help her take back the mayor's office from corrupt influences that threaten it. And that is why we are here, and that is what we intend to do. Let's be clear about a few things. To begin with, when there is a need for a financial evaluation of a municipality, who is the person that you think ought to do such an evaluation? You would think that you would get a forensic accountant with knowledge of accounting principles to give a fair evaluation and tell you the truth. What did the Board of Trustees do? They hired the failed mayor of Chicago, who is notable primarily for financial questions, financial malfeasance, and financial failures in Chicago. They hired that political actor to do the evaluation. When you do that, you're not seeking a fair answer about money. When you do that, you are seeking political theater, and that is not in the interest of the people, especially not when they want to pay this failed former mayor tens of thousands of dollars of your money to do this evaluation. When you do that, it's not governing. It's corruption. And that stops now. After Mayor Henyard was elected, it was the Board of Trustees that brought to Mayor Henyard a municipal expert, so they said. A so-called municipal expert. A man who was supposed to be knowledgeable at all levels regarding village financial resource management, among other things. This man was Keith Freeman. Keith Freeman was appointed by Mayor Henyard because the Board of Trustees said he was an expert. And she listened to Keith Freeman. She relied on Keith Freeman to manage the village finances. When he told her, this is how things are done, this is what mayors do, this is how we do things, she believed him. She trusted him. And when she realized that his actions were not in the interests of the people, that they were not on the lever, what did she do? She fired him. She terminated him. I sat here while she fired him in public after having already fired him in writing. But since then, at every turn, she has had a problem. Mayor Henyard has the right to appoint, and she has the right to terminate. That's the law. That's the mayor's rights. That's her power. Okay? That's her power. But at every time we turn around, the Board of Trustees has stepped in and they are insisting that this man, who has mismanaged village resources beyond belief, they insist that he's still employed. They empower him to keep sending out these emails and pretending to be the village administrator. They insist on keeping a person that everybody agrees squandered and mismanaged the resources of this village. They want this corrupt individual to remain. Well, she has terminated him again and again and again. They have interfered with the mayor's power. They've interfered with the mayor's executive power that only she maintains. And they don't get to do that. When they do that, when they get in the way and prevent her from terminating somebody that everybody agrees was a menace to this community, when they get in the way of that, they violate the law. And that stops now. Governance, folks, is only successful if there is what everybody hears and everybody talks about, the balance of power. The mayor has powers as the executive. The board has powers as a legislative branch, and they are separate according to law. They are separate because only if both maintain their independence can we have fair governance. But when the board takes it upon itself to illegally take over the powers of the mayor, then there is no governance. All of the problems that I hear the folks up here from the various departments describing, those problems stem from the absence of governance. And the reason we have no governance in the village is because these powers are not separate. Because the Board of Trustees has taken it upon itself to try to take away the power of the mayor. This meeting is a perfect example of that. To cancel a regular meeting of this board, there are rules, folks.
Yes, sir.
You don't get to make them up on your own whenever you feel like it, because you don't like the mayor, or you want to make her look bad, or you want to exercise control and act like you're in charge. They're not in charge. The mayor's the executive. That's the law. There is a law. It is called the Open Meetings Act. Got it right here in front of me. Okay? The Open Meetings Act says, you know what you've got to do to cancel one of these meetings? You've got to give 10 days of notice. 10 days of notice to the public. Certainly notice to the mayor. You know what they did? They didn't give you any notice at all. One of the members of the board didn't even know.
I had no idea that the meeting was canceled.
The mayor was not even contacted by the Board of Trustees. We had to find out through underground means what they were doing. That power to just cancel a meeting at the whim of the Board of Trustees is a power they do not possess. They claimed a power they do not possess. And that is the last thing you want in your legislators. The claiming of powers they do not have. That stops now. Recently, the mayor's political opponent, her actual opponent, Jason House, started signing checks for the village. Signing his name as if he had the authority to write checks for your money to pay for things that he wanted to pay. Like their lawyer, who she refused to pay. He signed the checks as if he had that right, despite the fact that there is a court order that says only the mayor has that authority to put that signature in that place on those checks. He did it anyway because he wanted to. Because he decided he wants to be mayor now. He doesn't want to wait till the people speak. Well, folks, he don't get to do that. Okay? He does not get to do that. This man somehow believes that he can hijack the office of the mayor and take it over before an election happens and before any votes are counted. I want everybody to think about that hears this. Right? Think about that. When a political opponent takes over, hijacks the office of an elected official, what would you call that? What could it be called? It cannot be called anything but what it is. Political corruption of the worst kind. And it's happening. It's happening here in the village of Dolton. It's happening today with respect to this meeting. It's happening with a drawer full of checks that he signed and tried to pass off as legitimate checks. Misappropriation of your money. That luckily the mayor's been able to get a hold of and curtail. Folks, Mayor Henyard came into this office as someone with vision, with youth. And of course, the corollary to that is that she comes with a degree of inexperience. That's a fact. But Mayor Henyard may be young, Mayor Henyard may be inexperienced. But Jason House, the Board of Trustees, the lawyers who control them and pull the strings, none of those people should mistake the mayor's youth for weakness. Because Mayor Henyard will stand up to power. She always has. She always will. She will stand up against a political opponent who chooses personal ambition over the will of the people. She will stand up to a board of trustees that chooses illegality over order. And she will stand up to their power broker political system attorneys who choose bullying and intimidation over proper legal discourse. She has brought me here to make sure that that stops now. We are here to stand with the mayor and put a stop to all of it, and to make sure that nobody interferes with the will of the people who elected her to do this job. The people are the ones who decide. And with that, Mayor, let's get back to the business of the people.